Then the whole downstairs. Whole downstairs.
Lose it?
No. No.
Anyway, tonight we really beginning Shevuous. Masechta Shevuous begins on Daf Beis, but it really begins on Daf Yutes on the Beis, because now you're really discussing Shevuous. So the Masechta began Shevuous Shnayim Shein Arba, and the pasuk that really is the deraisa is Nefesh Ki Sishba Levata B'Sfasayim, a nefesh that goes ahead and utters the lips lahara or lahativ, for good or bad, or bad or good. Bad means I won't eat. Good means I will eat. Right? And then we know that that's one of the kedusha. If you're going to have to bring a carbon oil of v'yared, you have to bring a carbon oil of v'yared. So now, the Mishnah we said shnayim shein arba because it says futuristic lahara or lahativ. The arba is achalti v'lo achalti. That's the achalti v'lo achalti. That's the avar, and that's the Mishnah. Now, I think it's I could talk a lot about it, but it's important to realize that your dibur can create something. It creates a metzius. If it's a neder, I can make this box of tissue into kache bedek abayis, and I'd be over in Isser if I used it. I'll be over liyachal devarai. I can go ahead and make this bottle of water. I can make it asa to me. Like if it's rod, it's like drinking kachim, right? Because that's a neder. Why is it a neder? Because you're making what's asa is the object. That is a cheftza. The object is asa to you. So a neder would be an issa cheftza. I'm mastering the tissues. I'm mastering the water. Issa gavra is the shvua. Where, in other words, you say the word oath or the word swear. It doesn't mean anything, right? But what's a shvua is an issa gavra. I can't drink this water. The water, I'm also on the water. Well, I can't drink. I can't use the tissues. It's the shvu is on yourself. So we're dealing with sech the shvuas. We're dealing by and large. We're dealing with the concept of isagavra. However, you can't differentiate between the two. And one of the things that we'll come across this evening, guys, is the concept of hatfasa. You might remember this from Masechta Nedarim. The aneder would be Atshayida ishkiyida neder, double lashon. So there's a Gemara says that until you know how the neder works, you make the object asa, and then you matfis in that object. So I would say the following: this tissue is asa. Now it's asa, right? Now I go ahead and I say this water should be asa like the tissues. So the water becomes asa because I was matfis in the tissues. Good. Tonight we're going to have a discussion whether there's a din of atfasa by shvua or not, or is a din of atfasa by shvua or not. Right? In other words, if you ask this al shvua, and then you want to say the same thing, like this is asa to me, like this is asa to me, like this piece of bread is asa. I asked myself on this bread, and now I want to go ahead and say this bread. I'm asking myself on this bread like this bread. Would that work? Would the din of atfasa or not? So even if you hold there's a din of atfasa by nedarim, fellas, you might not hold by shvua. And which makes listen to this, Ran. It makes a tremendous amount of sense. Why would everyone agree there's a din of hatfasa by neder? Because the thing itself is asa. In other words, since it's an issa cheftza, this thing is asa. So memela, I'm taking this thing and saying it's asa like this thing. But if it's an issa gavra, when I said I can't use the tissues, there's nothing in the tissue. It's me. So maybe then this is the Ran Svara, this be mechalik. Why by hatfasa you can't be matfis in a gavra? You can be matfis in a cheftza. Whereas we're going to see machlokes Rabbi and Rava whether it's a din of atfasa or not by a shvua. That's going to be a good part of the share. Okay, so let's begin and let's talk Rabba. Shevuous shtayim shein arba. Yeah, shevuous shtayim. That's the asid lahara lahativ shein arba, which is lashon of achalti lo achalti, as we'll see right now. Shevuous shaychel shlayachel. That's the shevuous shtayim. What's the arba? Shachalti shlayachalti. I ate or I didn't eat. Right, so that's past tense. You're over right away on that. You're over right away on layachal. Layachal devaru would mean guys future. In other words, you got to keep your word. Over here, right away you're over. Right, it's not, you're not keeping your word. As the time you made the neder past tense, you either ate or you didn't eat. Okay, if you use the lash shlei oichel v'achal kol shehu, if you make a shua that you won't eat and you eat kol shu chayiv div Rebbe Kiva. So even though we know that there's a din of what of kazayis, of kibetza, of kekaiseves, depending on various halachas, that's a din of shiurim, that is din of shiurim, that doesn't apply what to to Shvuah, because Rabbi Akiva says you be chayiv afilu kol shu. Amalot Chacham said to Rabbi Akiva, Heich metzina ba'oichel kol shu shu chayiv. In other words, they held it's the same thing right as any other shiurim. So on that, Rabbi Akiva retorted, right? Amalam Rabbi Akiva, v'chi heichin metzinu b'medaber umevi karbin, shezeh bedaber umevi karbin. In other words, you speak, and all of a sudden you have to bring a carbon olav yared. That's the part right? Through Dibor, you go ahead and create what? A parsha of bringing a carbon. So you see that it has nothing whatsoever to do. It has everything to do with your Dibor and not to do with what with the usual din of achila. Let's see Rashi over here, and on this point, medabru mevi carbon bishvil bittel diburoi. Why are you bringing a carbon? Because you didn't keep your word. The kibin the mishum bittel diburahu avzeh bittel diburoi. This also is mvatal the dibur. You know, it's why are you bringing a carbon oil of yared? Because you were over on your dibur. This too as well by eating sho'aymaloi oichel daitay lesa atzmai becholshu. Guys, his das when a person says I won't eat, it's not I won't eat a kazayas. I won't eat. Period. And that's an act of eating. It's a verb. It's an act of eating. So says Rabbi Akiva, very good svara. It's different over here. You're creating the issa, right? It's not subject to the normal issa of out of kazayas. Like that's why he's returning to the chachamim. It's subject to what you meant. Your dibur. What was your dibur? I'm not going to eat, and you did eat. You didn't eat the share. That's not considered. You know, it's considered being mevatel yedibur. And just as when you mevatel yedibur, you're going to bring a carbon. So too, if you mevatel yedibur, you're going to be chayev. If it's linyan achila, you'll be chayev. Okay. Now from over here, it's mashma. The word she'oichel is I will eat, right? You're making a shvuah that I will eat, futuristic. So says the Gemara, Lemeimer, you mean to say the she'oichel de achilna mashma? You mean the achil, the oichel means achilna? When you say oichel, it means I will eat. Urimini, I'll ask you a stira. I'm going to show you the word she'oichel means I won't eat, right? Shvuah loy oichelacha. So this is there's three cases. Shvuah loy oichelacha, meaning I won't eat from you. Or shvuah she'oichelecha, mashma, a shvuah that I will eat for you. But that's not what it means. What does it mean? Look at Rashi, 2 lines from the bottom. Shvuah she'oichelecha, be'isas shvuah yehei olai, mash'oichel mishalcha. Whatever I eat from you should be in isas shvuah. So you see over here, guys, what does she'oichel mean? Not eating. There's your stira right there. Again, shvuah she'oichelecha, what does that mean? Anything I eat from you is going to be, there's shvuah on it. So you see that what? I don't eat from you. The shvuah means I won't eat. Loy l'shvuah shaloi oichlecha, or it's not a shvuah what I won't eat from you, but I will eat from you is a shvuah. In all those cases, it's asa. The bottom line, what do you see from case number 2? That oichel means not to eat. I'll mashin mat achilna, you will eat. That's the kasha from our Mishnah to this Mishnah what in Masechta Nedarim. Okay, says the Gemara. Rabbi, like our Mishnah. She'oichel means you'll eat, like our Mishnah. And loy kasha from the Mishnah in Nedarim, can be misarvim by lechol, can be she'ein misarvim by lechol. One case is where a person is urging him to eat. He's staring him. He's saying, "Eat, come eat by me, come eat by me." And the other one, our Mishnah is speaking, we're not. The Gemara fears ice. Masni son, our Mishnah, she'ein misarvim by lechol. No one is going ahead what and being misarv lechol. I said it's a Mishnah in the Dharm, it's a Baisa, right? The Mishnah, our Mishnah, no one's saying anything. No one's talking to him, and you know what he says? I make a shvuah that I'm going to eat. Great, that's what it means. Eichel means eat. But guys, what about this case? Guy's saying, "Come eat by me," and he goes, "I don't want to eat by you." "Come eat by me," "I don't want to eat by you." "Come eat by me," "I don't want to eat by you." And finally, he says, "Shvuah sheichel." You know what he means? I don't want to eat by you. So in context, the brisa, since the guy was staring him like crazy, we're going to touch up. Sheichel means what? No. Says the Gemara. The Gemara fears ice. Brisa been misarvim by lechol. The brisa is the person's urging him to eat. The ka'amar, and he's saying, "Lo yachilna, I don't want to eat." And finally, what does he say? The chikam ishtaba, when he finally swears not to eat. Hachi kamar shvuah shleichel. When he says shvuah shleichel, means no. It doesn't mean I want to eat. It means I don't want to eat. So look in context. That's one way to answer the stira from our Mishnah to the brisa in the Nedarim. Another way to answer the stira, Rav Ashi Amar, don't learn shvuah shleichel. Tani shvuah she'i oichel. She means I won't eat. In other words, there's no stira in the first place. You know, the brisa in the Nedarim don't say shvuah she'oichel, say shvuah she'i oichel, shvuah that I won't eat, and then you don't have a problem in the first place. Guys, what's the chiddush? Bishlema, the three Lashonis we learned over there. There's an uptight Shevuous Oilcha, meaning what the Shevuous Oilcha. It's an Issa Shvuah I'll eat from you. That's a Chiddush. To touch up Shevuous Oilcha, that what I'll eat from you is Asa on me and a Shvuah is a Chiddush, guys. Again, Shevuous Oilcha, what I'm going to eat from you is this a Shvuah. That's good. But if you're telling me you make a Shvuah She'i Oilcha, that I won't eat from you, so Pasha, what's the Chiddush? Says Umadu Tema Lishna is Skilale. I might think that what he studied. In other words, he went Sheichel, and what did he say? Sheichel. But I might think that he doesn't mean Sheichel. I might think he means Sheichel, that I will eat. Kamashmal on what? He means what? It means that Sheichel. So we have two ways of answering the stira from our Mishnah to the Bryce and the Dorim. Either Ukimta, the Bryce and the Dorim is speaking with a guy is driving him crazy to eat by him. Finally, in context, the shrew is I don't want to eat. Or you have the Bryce and the Dorim means what? Sheichel, and therefore it's not a kash in the first place because he never said Oichel. And then Einochinami, a person says Oichel means I will eat, futuristic, and it's speaking about the act of eating. Now, the lashon of the pasuk is, guys, nefesh kishishava levate bisfasayim lahara le'etiv. So it says the lashon of levate. Now there are other lashonis of shvua, guys. The kol neder v'chol shvuas isar lanois nefesh. Then base isha nadra oy asra isar al nafsha. So you usually terms asr isar, guys. You say isar means asr. No, it's a noun. Asra isar. It's the same thing as shvua. It's the same thing as neder. There's something called iser. Good, aser iser. Aser is the verb, and iser is a noun. So we're going to have a very meticulous lashon, a cryptic brisa, and we're going to explain the lashon of iser. Okay, let's explain the lashon of iser. So we're deviating from the Mishnah now, and we're going into a bit of nedarim shvuos. Okay, and we're going to get to hatfasa. That's what I prefaced. And we'll say it over again. I prefaced it because with the feeling that we're going to go over it again. You hear it a second time, it'll make a lot more sense in context. Tana Rabbanan. Mifta, if a person says Lashon mifta, this kikar is mifta alai, shvua. Isar, shvua. Isa, Lashon isha, shvua. Isar. Now, don't think this is a third case, fellas. This is the parish of Isar. This is the parish of Isar. So Isar, imata oime Isar shvua. If you're going to say Isar is the lashon of shvua, not a neder, chayiv, then you be chayiv oil v'yored. V'im lav, and if it's not potter, you'll be potter. Now, you'll be potter, guys, from an oil v'yored, but you will be over on an Isar. You'll be potter from an oil v'yored, be over on Isar. Now, Fred the Gemara Kasha, imata oime Isar shvuhu. If you're going to say Issa is going to, in other words, it's mashma you're in doubt. You don't know what it is. For Amit, you just say Issa Shvuahu. Guys, look back at the Brisa. Three clauses. Clause number 1, Mifta Shvua. Clause number 2, Issa Shvua. So how can you be in doubt? You just said Issa is a Shvua. Now you're saying Issa. If it's a Shvua, then you're chayiv. You just said Toichidei Dibur. You said that what? It's a Shvua. Amar Rabbi Hachi Kamar. Mifta Shvua. Mifta is a shvua. Isar, and you know what Isar is? That's matvis b'shvua. Isar is matvis b'shvua. Now, Isar, if you hold matvis b'shvua is a shvua, then chayiv im lav pata. Okay? So now, this is the way Abaya teaches up this brisa. Guys, look at me. Mifta, shvua. Isa, shvua. When is Isa a shvua? If you hold matbis v'shvua is a shvua, then Isa is what? A shvua. If not, then not. Let's see Rashi.
Isser means matbis.
Isser means lashon at Isser. It means lashon at Isser, and he's touching up Isur. Let's see Rashi. Rashi is going to explain. Ima to oimer, 4 lines down. Maika armit. What do you say if you mean is lashon shvua? Va'armit, you just said Isser lashon shvuahu. V'hadatani ima to oimer. Says him hachi kamar. Mifta shvua. Ha'oime mifta kikazu alai. Mifta, this kika's on me. Ka'oime shvua shloyachalnu. Right? V'mlachul harizeh boy leviyoyre. That's no shaila. There is no Torah on mifta, guys. Mifta is mamish lashon shvua. You will bring a carbon leviyoyre for being mechali shvua. Now, Isar, however, matvis b'shvua. What does that mean, Rabbi Avi? Isar alai kikazu harehu kimi shenishba ala kikar. V'chaze v'amar al kikar acher Harizeh kizeh shehitfis es hasheni berishain. In other words, guys, you're going to touch up Isur? You're going to touch up Isur as if what? As if I said, this loaf of bread is usher upon me like another loaf of bread. Now, you never said that other loaf of bread is usher on you. We're going to touch up Isur as a lashon, as if you were matfis in another piece of bread. Again, Rashi one more time. Isur like kika zu, harihu kimish. It's as if. You didn't do it. It's as if shenishbar al kikar, v'chazev v'amar al kikar acher. And then you went ahead and said on another kika, harizeh kazeh. It's like it should be like that one. Shehitfis es hasheni berishon. If you hold that atfas shvua is a shvua, isur, umahu isur shalisazeh. What's the isur of this isur? What is it? Im ata oimer im timtza loimer shamafis b'shua k'moitzi shua mipivdami. If you're going to say matbis v'shua is like you're saying a shua, then achloi, if you eat it, then chayav korban. Afzel oimer isa kikazel lai chayav korban. Im achluk she'isa lashon atfasa shuahu. So if you hold that shua is atfasa, then this is with asher. Then lav, if you don't hold it shehitfis b'shua, eina kinish balinian korban umalkis. Afa isa ein boy loy korban loy malkis. It will be awesome. Now this is very interesting, guys. What exactly this Isser is what is this Isser? Lo yachal devar is an Isser Malkus. No, listen, no. Rashi's saying, if you're saying a Shvua is not Hatfasa, so if you say the Lashon Isser, and even though it means Hatfasa, but there's no Hatfasa by Shvua, Rashi says you won't be Chayiv what? A korban if you're over on it, and you won't be Chayiv Malkus if you're over on it. No. It means there's an issa. It doesn't. Rashi didn't say that. There's nothing. Rashi said you're not chayiv. He didn't say pata. He didn't say pata. He said achloi be medayik chayiv achloi chayiv. If you imlav, Rashi repeats it. Then the inyan korban umalkis af isrein boy loy korban boy malkis Rabbi. Rashi not telling you there's nothing there. Rashi should have simply said pata. So what's the issa? Okay, so that there's big Torah on this. There's a stipple on this. There's big Torah on this. But it can't be lo yachal devarai. Why? That's malchus. That's malchus. So again, just be aware. In the lashon of Rashi, there is an isser over here. This is not a hefgevelt. You just use your words and just say something. You know. The question is, did your words create isser or not? In your korban, in your malchus. Yes.
So why is the case that as if he swore that this is usser and this should be like this? Why can't it be that?
Because that's what Issa means. Issa means Hatfasa. That's how we touch up Issa.
Why can't be Hatfasa to something he actually did say?
What?
Why is Rashi saying?
Because that's Pashit. That would be Pashit. That would be Pashit. In other words, you touch up Isser as if it's really the Gemara said it, as if you're matfit. In other words, why would you say that? I made this Asr, and you want to say I'm matfit in that? Why did Rashi say this case? Because you only use one lashon. Use lashon of Isser. You use the lashon of Issa. If Issa means hatfasa, what does that mean? That I want to. In other words, according to you, I don't have to use the lashon of Issa. I could have said the following: I make a shvua that I can't eat this bread. Now I make a shvua I can't eat this bread. That's hatfasa.
No, I make a shvua that I can't eat
that this bread should be like this bread, right? Yeah. So what's the chiddush? That's not you have a brisa. It says lashon of Issa. What does that mean? What does the lashon issa mean? What you're touching up is simply does it mean atfasa? It doesn't mean atfasa. No, it zikha means atfasa. And what's atfasa? What's atfasa? Okay. Yes.
It's like making sure with the words, with your mouth. So therefore.
So what?
So therefore, it's words.
Where's the Torah? Where's the Torah? Where's the issa in the Torah? This is a yachal devarai. Don't you have to keep your word? Then you get malchus. Okay. Okay, so very geschmack. So this is how a buyer learns pshat in this cryptic brisa. Isur, and what is pshat Isur? It's atfas and shvua. If you hold that shvas and shvua, you be chayiv. If not, not. Now, again, okay, I'll hold off on that. Now we all agree that what that mevata is a shvua, right? There was no question about that. Dichsiv. If that's the case, then Isser Nami, Dichsiv, Kol Neda v'Chol Shvuas Isser. So in other words, if the Torah uses the Lashon Mevate, the Torah uses the Lashon the Isser. So what's your question? Obviously, it means what? It must be in a lashon what of it must be. It is. Elam imamai the issa mafis b'shvuahu. That issa means mafis b'shvua. The chsiv ay asur Yisrael nafsha b'shvua. So, guys, in the same pasuk that it says issa, it says shvua. So, what are you going to say? Ay asur Yisrael nafsha b'shvua, because your mafis issa is mafis in a shvua. Mevata nami kaksiv l'chol yivata ha'adam b'shvua. It says also lashon a shvua in the pasuk. So, obviously, why would you have then for more clarity by the lashon of mevata than you did by Yisra? This is the parsha in I guess Pat Matos. From Hoya Tiel Ish Unidereha Aleha, and if she'll be to a man Unidereha Aleha, a miftas vaseh asher asra al nafsha. So we see this parsha of the father or a husband being taking off. So now, so that's there you see it over there. The lashon of what from Hayasila Ish Unidara v'mevatas vaseh asher asra al nafsha. V'ilu shvua loy kamar. It doesn't say lashon shvua there. Good, so lashon mevata. Now, b'may asra atzma b'mevata. So it's not a shvua, guys. Hayasila Ish Unidara leha ay miftas vaseha. It doesn't say lashon shvua. So you know mifta is what? It's a lashon of shvua. You know mifta is a lashon of shvua. Rava Omar, I'll tell you, mitvis b'shvua lav k'maitzi shvua pivdami. It's not. Guys, so if it's not, what's the shiloh of Isser then? Guys, if you're telling me that if you're matfis in shvua, you're not making a shvua, like Rava says. Good? What did the Brisa say? Mifta shvua. Issa shvua. So what does it mean Issa shvua then, if it's not speaking about Atfasa? V'hachi kamar. Mifta shvua. Issa nami shvua. And Issa is also a shvua, no shaila. It's a shvua. And there's nothing to do with Atfasa, because Atfasa in shvua is nothing. Isarei the Isar. What's the Isar? In other words, where do we know that Isar is Asar, that it's a shvua? Hitilu akosiv beineder l'shvua. Of course, we find the lashon of Isa placed between the lashon of neder and the lashon of shvua. Where do you see that? Okay, so we'll see in a second. So now, guys, Isar can be either both. It can be either neder or shvua, depending on context. How do you know that? Of course, it says neder on one side, shvua on the other side, and Isar is in the middle, meaning you can go either direction. Okay. Hoitzi b'lashon neder, neder. B'lashon shvua, shvua. If it was used as lashon neder, Isar, then it's a neder. You said the object's Isar to you. Or if it's lashon shvua, that I'm Isar on the object, then it's a shvua. Heicheni tilu, where do you see that it's placed between it? Then base isha nadra, ay asra Isar al nafsha b'shvua. Guys, there it is. Then base isha nadra, the lashon of neder. Ay asra Isa, there's the lashon of isha. Al nafsha b'shvua, it says the lashon of shvua. So guys, let's go. So back over to Brisa. Mevata bisvasai, mevata shvua. Isa, well, it depends. According to Abaya, Isa will be a shvua if what? If you hold that what? Your mapis v'shvua is a shvua. According to Rava, it's zicha is a shvua. Why? Because he holds mapis v'shvua is not a shvua. So what is it? It depends how you use it. If you use it as a neder on this on the object, it's going to be the object. If you use it what? It's going to be. Okay. Gishmak? We're good. They both go according to their reasoning. Both Rav and Abaya go according to their reasoning. Deidmar, matvis b'shvua, Abaya Omar kimoitzi shvua mi pivdami. If you're matvis b'shvua, right, it's like you might see shvua mi piv. If you say this should be like this, it's mamish. For Rav Omar, lav kimoitzi shvua mi pivdami. It's not. It's different than neder. It's not the same, as we'll see. Neisibay, we ask a kasha. Eza isa ha'omer b'toira. Hari oimer hare olai shloi oichel basa ushleyesh leyayin. I shouldn't eat what? Meat. I should not drink wine. This is a shvua, guys, right? I should not drink. Hare olai, good. Shloi not to eat, right? Shloi esh leyayin. Kiyom. Now here's that fasa. Kiyom shemes by aviv. People are noyik to go ahead and fast on the yard side. Kiyom shemes by pliny so and so. Kiyom shenerag ba Gedalia ben Achikam same Gedalia. Kiyom Sherach Yushalayim b'chubana, Asa. It's Asa. You were matvis in the Dava Asa. It's a kasha on Rava. V'amar Shmuel v'hu shenadroi uba me'oisay yoim. Right. And that what? In fact, what you made a neder on that day. Look at Rashi. Kasal kedaitach. Right before it gets wide. Ukasal kedaitach. Hashda the Hainu Matfis Beneder, Ukatani, Eza Issa Oma Betoira, Shahu Belayachal Devaroi, Haima Hari Olai. Alma Matfis Beneder, Harihu Belayachel, Kineder Atzmai. Ube Matfis Neder, Neder Matfis Beshua Shua. In other words, you can be Matfis Beneder, you can be Matfis Beshua also. So in other words, when you said that I should not be able to drink this, I'm Matfis Beneder, guys. I shouldn't be able to drink wine like the day that my father was nifta, and I fasted that day. So that day I asked, you made an Isra on that day. You made an Isra on the day. You made an Isra on the day that person died. The Chiddush is a Gedali ben Achikam, right? You made an Isra on that day. So just like over there, Hatfasa is Hatfasa by Neder, so too by Shua what? It's Shua. So it's a Kasha what on Rava. El Rava Kasha, Amid Beis, Amlach Rava. Tiritz vei mahachi. Here's the way you should answer up. Tiritz vei mahachi. Eza is a neder. Ha'ama b'toira. What's the? It's a neder that it says in the Torah. Ha'ima harei alai asad pami. Shloi oichel basa. I shouldn't eat meat. Ushloi eshta yayin. I shouldn't drink wine. Kiyom shemes be'aviv. Kiyom shener b'pleini. V'ama shmuel v'ushenada uba me'oisa hayoyin. Rashi. Tiritz vei mahachi. Kloimar. Hai Tana. Lav bin matfis beneder. This taina is not speaking matfis beneder, guys. Ela be'ika neder. Guys, let me take you back in time. There's an opinion in the Darim. The only way you ask something is by comparing it to something else. Ish kiyida neder. So, guys, for example, I would say this is usher upon me like liquid chaza. Or liquid fat, that's not a good neder. You know why? Because I didn't create the issa. The Torah did. If I said this is usher upon me, bli neder, and then I said this other bottle of water is us like this bottle, that's not hatfasa, guys. That's, in other words, the ikin neder is al yidei hatfasa, but it's not hatfasa. Says Rashi, Kloimar, Hai Tana. Lav bin matfis beneder. This Tana of this brisa that you're asking on Rava is not speaking about hatfasa benedarim. Ela b'ika neder. Vashmin on she'ena chayiv beneder. You only chayiv in a neder. Ela imkain pirshehu. You explain it. V'achkach tola b'davar nidar alav. You express it, and then you make your expression dependent upon something else. So this meat is asa. I expressed that it's asa, guys. This meat is asa. Did I express it's asa? Like. In other words, that's the chiddush. Like that. In other words, it's not enough to say it's usher. The isser has to be like something else. But that's not atfasa b'neder, guys. That's the lashon of neder. That's the lashon of neder. K'vi aleph lo avaz lo mikra. V'achi kamar. Eza isa neder. That's the isa neder. Okay, but now what's atfasa then? Aval matvis b'neder, lav nederhu. V'hechi dami matvis kigoin. Shlei pirish harei alai shlei oichel basar. Ushleyesh yayin el omar harei alai yoim zeh ki yoim shemes bayaviv ki yom sheras Yerushalayim b'churbana. I didn't express an issa, guys. I didn't express an issa. What did I say? This day should be like this day. Now this day takas asa, but I didn't express like what. I didn't say the meat should be us like this day. I didn't say the wine should be us like this day. That is hatfasa b'neder. That's not. What is hatfasa b'neder that works? I say this meat should be asa like that day. This wine should be asa like that day. I expressed the isser, and then I was matfis that is something else. That's neder. Hatfasa, that's not a neder, is where you didn't say the object. You just say it should be asa. It should be asa, right? Harei olai yom zeh, this day, like what? Like that day. What's this day? You didn't express anything. I mean, as guys, ish kiyafli neder. It has to be what? Expressive. No, expressive. Guys, ish kiyafli lid neder nozal Hashem. It has to be clarity at the time. The clarity. So, guys, this Rashi is a key. So, what are we saying now? You wanted to ask on Rava from this brisa. This brisa is not speaking about fasa. You wanted to ask Rava, how can you be mafis in the shvur? You see from over here, you say you can't be mafis for sure. Here you see you could be mafis for sure. The answer is no. This brisa is speaking about the ik and neder. It's speaking. You want to say a neder, like just like be mafis neder is a neder. You can mafis b'shvur as a shvur. This is neder. This is how you go ahead and make a neder. You make a neder by saying, I should be asa in this object like that. That's ik and neder, but it's not atfasa. That's how Rashi learns pshat over here. Okay. Now, if you look at Tosfos, El Rava Kasha, Afagav the Rav Nami Moida de Mafis Beneder Neder. What's the kasha? You take Rav is speaking about a shvua. Rashi learned, guys, just like Ned is beneder, shvua is b'shvua. What's the kasha? Rav is masking that it is atfasa beneder, right? The Mishnah Shleimahi. It's an often a Mishnah, right? Misha Amar Reini Nazir. Someone says I'm a Nazir. V'shama chaveiroi v'amar vani. So what did his friend do, guys? His friend was machbis in you, just like you're a Nazir. He's a Nazir. V'chein ben nedarim kamar. The bekorban having neder. Mikalmakim paruch l'rava. So Fred Kaisa's a kasha. What's the kasha? He's moida by neder. Says the Gemara. Mikalmakim paruch l'rava. Amaydim afarish isa dekra matfis. He explains they explain the lashon of kra matfis. Rava meshani d'loikai isa dekra. In other words, the kasha on Rava is that the explaining the lashon of isa of the pasuk is the lashon of atfasa, and Rava according to Rava not. And Rava answers up that it's not speaking about atfasa at all. It's speaking about what ikaneder. Okay. My timer, what's the reason you need atfasa? That's the big question. My time, what's the reason you need atfasa? Amakor ish kiyida neder lashem. Achiyida bedava hanodor. Right? Guys, dav hanodor, meaning you created the Issa rather than the Torah creating the Issa. Good? Kiyom shemes by aviv pshita. What's the chiddush? It says, Kiyom shener b'gdali ben achika mitzrach. Sak da'et chamin kivin dechiloi nodar. Nami asar. Guys, can you view the day of Gedalia ben Achikam like eating chaza?
Yeah, you didn't create it.
You didn't create it, right? This was standing there. Kamash Malon, high love mitzvahs ben who Kamash Malon that whatever the Torah gave you, whatever the Torah, it's the Kabbalah, but you going ahead and saying that it's us of that day, you creating your own issa. That l'chayr is the chiddush over here. Okay, just outside for a second, guys. Outside for a second. What's the difference by neder, where it's so obvious that you could be matfis, and by shvur it's a machloikis? So I said it once. I want to say it again. A neder is an issa chefza. So once this object's asa, I made this into chaza. I made this into a camel. I made this into an arneves. I made this into nevela. This is, to me, to you it's muta. To me, it's the same thing as chaza. Now, so therefore, if I say this thing should be like that, it makes sense. Since this is chaza, since this is it should be like that. Remember, it's a davar another. I created the issa. But what happens if I say what? I can't eat that. I can't eat that. Now, is there anything wrong with that? No. It's wrong with me. So b'meila, how can you be matfis in that? There's nothing wrong with that. That's the Ran guys in the Durham. And they also here. Geshmaka Ran. Geshmaka to explain the chilik between what? Between a neder, why that had fuss is a davar pasha that it works, and why being shvur there's a shaila that's a machloikis why it works. Right? Yeah.
But it's the same thing. Before you, if it's a neder, so this is also like this. On the shvua, I can't eat this like I can't eat that.
That's not it. But that's not atfasa. Atfasa is in the object. I'm being matfis. You're saying in the person. That's not atfasa. Your lashon is interchangeable. You're saying A and B. The person's the same. Right. Atfasa means that I can't eat that, right? Just like I can't eat that. Bishlema, if it's asa, you have a hatfasa means in the object. You mean mafis an object. According to you, it's just your personality. It's just a person. It could be mafis in the person. It could be mafis in the person. If you mafis in the person, you say this guy's a nazir. So it's not pshat the person. It's the fact that he's a nazir, right? It's a davar another. He created naziris. He's a chefza. The nazir is a chefza, like my tissue box. It's a chefza. Guys, it's a very nice distinction between the two. Okay, the Gemara is a little easier now. Says the Gemara. And even Rabbi Yochanan holds like Rava that you have the lashon of Isar. If it's between shvua, since it's between both of them, it depends how you use it. If you use it as a shvua, it's a shvua. If you use it as a neder, it's a neder. Rabbi Yochanan savala lahada Rava. The chiyasa Ravin Rabbi Yochanan mifta loy oichelacha mifta. It's mifta to me, but I won't eat from you. Isa loy oichelacha. It's isa, but I won't eat from you. So shvua. It's a lashon shvua. So you see that what? that Rabbi Yochanan says Isha is a lashon of shvua. It's a shvua. Kiyaser Avdimi Rabbi Yochanan oichel v'loy oichel sheker. If you use the I eat, I won't eat. Now this is a shvuas bitoy, but he wants there's two. You could say there's two types of shvuas bitoy: a shvuas sheker or a shvuas shav. My nafkamina is the hasra. You're going to give a person hasra, you have to know the pasuk. What pasuk are you giving him hasra? What are you warning him? You have to be the correct pasuk. So now, oichel v'loy is a shvuas sheker, right? It can bring you to a shvuas sheker. Va'asarase mehacha le'sishbu b'shmi la'shaker. And the lashon of the pasuk is what? V'leisishavu b'shmi la'shaker, leisishavu b'shmi la'shaker. Achalti v'lo achalti, I ate or I didn't eat. Shava. That's a shvuah shav, guys. That's a shvuah shav. Now, guys, you know what a shvuah shav is? As soon as it comes out of your mouth, no, it's not obvious. As soon as it comes out of your mouth, it's wrong. Oichel v'lo oichel depends on the future. Did you eat or didn't you eat? It's right. That we know what a shvuah shav is. You swear that this beam of a stone is gold. So I swore I didn't eat. The same thing.
It's obvious.
In the
Anyone can see that it's not.
everyone can see it's not, but you're over the shvuah right away.
If I swore I can't eat chazer, that would be shvuah shav too.
No.
Because I have.
Oh no, you could be mush b'midvar Sinai. That shvuah won't be chal. That shvuah will not be chal. That listen. That shvuah will not be chal because ain't shvuah chal al shvuah. We swore at Sinai not to eat chazer. You hear? You swore at Sinai not to eat chazer. So if you make a shvuah not to eat chazer, it's a shvuah on a shvuah. It doesn't work. Any anything. Okay, but again, you're making an obvious, excuse the pun, observation. But the nafkamina in terms of azhara is clearly when you make the shvuah whether you ate or didn't eat past tense. There's no question either you did or you didn't. It's you over right away. Mashenkin lahara lahait is futuristic. So futuristic is do not swear my name, right? However, the azhara for past tense is like sisa Hashem kechal hashav. It's the aseres adibris. Do not use Hashem's name in vain. Koinamos, guys. Koinamos is a lashon of neder. I say this should be usher upon me like a korban. That's a davar neder, guys. That's a classic case. A korban's usher to you through a shvuah. It was a perfect animal. It was lunch until you said what? It should be a korban. So you created it's a hegdish. So therefore, koina means this should be like that, like what? Like a usher me up like a korban. That's at fusser Rabbi. Koinim. You didn't create. This should be usher upon me like a korban. You didn't create the korban. Someone else. The concept did. So we'll view that Rashi that you were varvarning before that Issa will view as if that's what you said. There was an existing Issa on this loaf of bread, and now it's matfis in that. It was like a korban. So now, koinamis is oiva b'layachal devarai. So okay, so you have three pshatim, guys. Oicha b'layachal, loisisuv v'shem. Now, look at Taisvis, guys. Koinamis oiva mishum bal yachel, b'shvu nami oiva mishum bal yachel. Dichsiv oyishava b'layachal devarai. Based in the Darim, Tanya behedya. Yesh b'shvu b'layachal. So what's pshat? V'hachachi kama. B'koinamis leka ela bal yachel greda. You only have one issa, right? You only have by koinamis, you only have bal yachel. By shvuah, you have more than bal yachel. You have right either leishishavu b'shmil shaker or leisis Hashem kechal shav. Meisive, you want to say that what? That past tense is a shvuah shav and not sheker, right? Shav b'sheker echad hein. They're the same. My lav mid the shav l'shavar, just like shav is shavar. Af shekenami l'shavar. So too shek is also l'avar. And again, so nafkamina would be in the Yinashara. Alma achalti b'lechalti shekahu. Says the midi area hakadisa. The davar echad does not mean that davar echad l'yin sheker l'yin shav, right? My davar echad hein the b'dibur echad nemru, that just like they were said b'dibur echad kidetanya. Zacha v'shama zacha shama shabbos the kacha zacha v'shama b'dibur echad nemru. Mashen yachal apel ledaber. A person is unable to say that. Mashen ha'oisin yachal l'shmaya. Nor can a person hear two things simultaneously. Now, bishlei mahasam b'dibur echad nemru kid Ravada barava. Matznaf kamin an halacha. Dam Ravada barava. Nashim chayavos b'kiddush hayoyim. Devar Torah. Women are mechoyev in kiddush. Devar Torah. Dama Kra, Zacha V'Shamar. Kol Sheyeshne B'Shmira, women are Mechayev and Loisases of Shabbos, Yeshne B'Schira, they're in the mitzvah say Schira. V'hani Nashi, Chayil V'Isnu B'Shmira, Isnu Nami Schira, since in the ballpark of Shmira, they're in the ballpark of Schira. Elahacha Lamai Hilchasa, you're telling me it's Dover Echad of Shav V'Sheker, what halachic application is there? Miboyle El Kashem Shel Loika Al Shav, Chach Loika Nami Al Sheker. Just like you loika on Shua Shav, you loika on Shua Sheker. Now, guys, which makes more sense? Look at the eye contact. Which makes more sense to be loika on? A shvua that's in the future or a shvua that's in the past? In other words, you'd say a shvua in the future. In other words, why? Because shvua in the past is lav shem v'maisa. A shvua in the past is lav. I make a shvua that someone makes a shvua that he ate. And turns out he didn't. You can't give him malchus. Why? It's lav shem v'maisa. You make a shvua that okay. Again, that's the chiddush. That's the chiddush, right? That's the chiddush. We saw that. That's the chiddush. So the Gemara says now that sheker is like shav. It's really the opposite. Shav should be like sheker. Look at Rashi, guys. Klape laya. Klape laya means is literally it's pumfaket. It's the opposite way of thinking. Klape heikin atapoina. Which way are you turning? Zahipachu. It's the opposite. You want to say that what? That sheker should be like shav. Shav should be like sheker. The ilu sheker ashkin ba lav sheyesh ba maisa. Kigain, you find loy achal, I didn't eat. Va'achal, and you did eat. Sha'aval shvuasa yedei maisa. He was over in shvuah yedei maisa. Aval achalti v'loy achalti lav sheyesh ba maisahu. So how can you tell me that what a sheker is like shav? It's the opposite. Shav should be like sheker. Back in the Gemara. El kashem shaloika al shav kach loika nami al sheka. Kapayala aim of kashem shaloika al sheka kach loika nami al shav. Pshita high lav. They're both lavim. They're both lavim. Because the pasuk says Rashi lo yinaka Hashem. Says the Gemara ma'udetemi kedam le'ra papa labaya. We're going to see this Gemara Vaita. Lo yinaka klal. I might think you can't get forgiven at all. Kamash malon kiddushani la. That Lashem is lo yinaka, but bez neshama mata will be what? Will be menaka. V'ibay yisema kashem sheb maybe carbon al sheker kach maybe carbon al shav. Just like you're being carbon al shav. Okay, so liyotzim dvareinu. We have the haskalah of this parak. We learned the lesson of mavate mifta. We learned of issa and machlekes the bay v'rav. What issa means? Does it mean fasa b'shua, or does it mean that what? It's either shua or lashon neder. We saw that a difference between shua sheker, shua shav, the psukim, and to know which one to give ashara in, and we're good. Yeah.